I'm not trying to sound like a fucking philosopher, even though I've been called that for some reason before. But I've always said that the mark of true game, of good game, of solid game, isn't in how many bitches you can fuck or the quality of those bitches. You know, like, oh, I fucked 100 girls and all of them are eights, nines, and tens. That's not good game. Good game is in your ability to get a high quality woman to stick around. That's a very difficult thing to do because, well, there's a lot of reasons. One, high quality women have options. Two, we don't live in the Stone Age or the 14th century anymore where women are tied down. And, you know, there's just a lot of freedom. So if you can get a woman to hand you her freedom of her own free volition and will, that's solid fucking game. So naturally, the question becomes, how do you get a high quality woman? Again, we're talking high quality. She's compatible with you personality wise. She makes sense privately and publicly. If you've heard me talk about that before, that means she appears to be the kind of girl that you wouldn't mind being seen in public with. Not just because she looks good, but because she makes sense to your life and your lifestyle, right? She's that kind of girl. And how do you get that kind of girl to not choose another guy or go away or not like you anymore, shit like that? That's a good fucking question to ask. And in my years of doing this, I've come to find that there's only one thing that matters, but this one thing split into three places. Let's talk about it. And the one thing I'm talking about, the one word is fear. It's fear. Fear. She has to be afraid to leave you. FEAR, that's the word of the day, fear. And if that doesn't make any sense to you, let me put it like this. Women are fearful creatures. They're anxious, they're unsure, they're uncertain, they're avoidance-based, self-preservation kind of creatures, right? They value above everything else their comfort and safety, both internal and external, right? That's all they are. Every decision they make in their lives is based on those two things. Do I feel comfortable doing this? Do I feel safe doing this? That's it, right? So, I mean, if you think about it, the whole reason she's with you in the first place is because of fear. She had the fear of missing out on a great guy like you. She had the fear of seeing you with another bitch. You know what I'm saying? All right, just because we now know fear is a good way to keep women around doesn't mean we just make them constantly afraid 24/7. In fact, yes, fear is important to make sure she doesn't leave you, but it only makes up about 3% of your entire relationship in general. It's a very small part of it, right? And not to mention, you also have to be careful what kind of fear you're allowing her to experience. There's good fear and bad fear. An example of bad fear is she's scared to leave you because you're an abusive, violent motherfucker that's not scared to inflict harm and physical pain on her if she steps out of line, right? Which is not good. You know, don't pimp your girl with your hands, pimp her with your mind. That's what I say. Now, in all my years of doing this, I've come to discover about 7 different kinds of good fear that you want your girl to experience. But y'all don't pay me for the Snapchat shit, so I'm only giving you 3. That's all you get. Alright, sorry. 3 major types of fears that you want your girl to experience. Let's talk about them one by one. Now, the first one should be obvious, but a lot of people don't pay attention. The first one is the fear of starting over. In fact, when my YouTube channel launches, that'll be one of the first videos I upload. It'll be called The Fear of Starting from Square One, right? People underestimate just how much women hate new. It baffles me that guys actually think the word new is some kind of buzzword you can use to get bitches somehow. Oh, look, it's new. Let's go on an adventure. Adventure. Remember when old school pickup artists used to use that all the time? Adventure. That shit is the worst thing you can tell women. Bitches hate adventure. Just look at their lives on a daily basis. They don't like adventure. They don't like new shit. They don't like to try new shit. Bitches want familiar. And leaving you removes familiarity from their lives. You really think she wants to go out there on dates again? You think bitches like dates? The concept of Trying to get to know someone new is the most daunting task that the average woman can think about in this day and age. It's very nerve wracking. You don't know what's going to happen. There's uncertainty. He might be a killer or a rapist. There's no comfort or safety in any of this, right? There's no familiarity. There's nothing they can look to and be like, oh, I recognize that, because they can't, because it's new, right? They don't like new. Bitches hate the concept of starting from square one. So from time to time, you should make it your duty to remind her that if she decides she wants to get out of pocket with you, she can go outside and go try to find a new guy. Try to go learn his intricacies. Try to learn how to suck his dick from square one. Yeah. If women are being honest, even they will tell you the only time they try new shit is when someone they trust eggs them on to try it. Right? Why do you think reviews exist? What's this the whole concept of reviews? Oh, these many people have said this good thing about this thing, so that means you'll probably like it too. Like, what the fuck kind of logic is that? Why can't I make my own fucking decisions? That exists for women because women do more online shopping than anybody else. It's a real thing. Google it. But yeah, it's true. When they see them stars up there, they go, oh shit, 5 stars. Now I can buy it because I know other people have bought it and it's had a great, review and impression on them. So I'll probably have a good impression of it too. Men don't function like that. I always give this as an example, but I'm going to say it again. I don't mean to belabor the point, but go online and Google search like a full list of all the inventors and their inventions, like anything that's ever been invented or discovered. What you notice is men do the hard work of going out there and, trailing a new or blazing a new trail, blazing a new trail, finding a new path, discovering shit, being revolutionary. And then what women do is they follow behind and then just take whatever men have done and make it safer. Because that's what they do. That's how they function. Men created guns, women created the bulletproof. Men created the plane, women created the parachute. Men created the car, women created the airbags. You get the fucking point by now. And that's a great segue into the second kind of fear, the second kind of good fear. So the first fear is women's fear of starting from square one. The second one is closely tied to it, which is women's fear of not being able to find or get another you. Let's discuss. There's a general misconception out there that women don't have the ability to keep men, but they know how to get them, but they don't know how to keep them. Here's what I've discovered. Bitches don't know how to do shit. They don't know how to get men. They don't know how to find them. They don't know how to keep them. They for sure cannot keep them. But they also don't know how to get them. I bet y'all are surprised when I say that. Yeah, but what about Instagram? All these likes they get. Well, yes, they get a lot of attention. It's true. But why are they getting the attention? Well, 2 words. Ass and titties, right? Women have no personality. In fact, I have a hypothesis that most women decide to drop the entire personality thing at the age of 16. Because 16 on average is when they discover they don't need to have a personality to get the same amount of validation and attention from men, all because they have titties, right? So they don't have a reason to train to be a better person. I discovered at the age of 17 that women won't be interested in me until and unless they find me interesting. Women discover the exact opposite message at around that time. So they don't have a real skill, right? Like in business, we talk about the sales funnel of a customer, right? First, there's customer acquisition, lead acquisition. They don't become a customer until you convert them, right? So lead acquisition, lead conversion, and then lead retention. There's a way to acquire leads, to convert them into paying customers, and then to retain them so that they come back again, right? Women can do none of these things. And you know that's the case when you look at their strategy for dating. It surprised a lot of people to find out I watch a lot of female dating coaches. Not dating coaches that are female, but dating coaches that teach females how to get the men they want. From channels as big as Matthew Hussey, I think he'll be the most famous one, to like the goofy niggas like Derek Jackson and then Elliot Scott. All those guys, most of them I don't even know their names. I know there's an Australian one. I know there's a white guy, a lot of white guys. There's another white guy. Well, but basically the point is, I watch what it is they claim to be able to teach women. And what I noticed about them is they don't even teach women like what we teach men. Like, so we teach men the linear path to attraction, which is attraction. You got to attract her. You got to get her attention. Then comfort, which is where you actually become human with her, get to know her, understand her, get her to know you and feel comfortable and familiar with you. And then there's the seduction. You're not allowed to seduce a woman until you've attracted and made her feel comfortable, you know. It seems to me watching these guys teach women that they completely skip the attraction phase. Whenever you watch one of these videos where like a Matthew Hussey is talking to women like, oh, this is what you do, ladies. Good morning. I want to tell you about Jameson's behind the camera and all that nonsense. They skip the initial phases of it. They're never talking to women about, okay, this is how you get a guy's attention. This is what you do to become interesting to him. This is how you get him to notice you. They just skip directly to the middle part, which is like, here's how to become emotionally relevant to him. And I feel like that's a great loss because ultimately that means a woman's general strategy up until she has the opportunity to become emotionally relevant to a guy is just to sit and wait. It's like all women do is sit and fucking wait. That's fucking terrible. Where's the proactivity in that? I always tell guys to make sure that at some point in the course of your relationship, you should be letting your woman know that you study pickup, you study the game, and you have a conscious, actionable skill. A lot of guys shy away from that. Like, oh, I don't want her to know that I learned this weird shit, you know. Because guys are too shy to tell people, oh, I study attraction. But, you know, that's fine. You gotta let your girl know that you have the ability to go out there and get other women at will. It's something you can do and execute on at any time you want. And not just that, but you gotta remind her that she doesn't have that ability, that skill, because she hasn't consciously practiced it like you have. You have made yourself or are trying to make yourself the fucking Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Usain Bolt of the game. You understand women, you understand social dynamics, right? How much work has she put in to try to understand men? I guarantee you, not a lot. Women don't go out of their way to do that. And make her realize that because she hasn't done that, she's a step behind. Well, more like 10 steps behind you. You know, that makes her easily replaceable. And that's the third fear. The fear that she can be easily replaced. The greatest fear, well, not the greatest, but one of the greatest fears a woman has in any given relationship is coming to that realization that they're just not as valuable as they would have suspected they were. Is realizing that they made no impact, they left no mark, they changed nothing. They weren't dynamic, they weren't revolutionary, they were just like every other bitch, which is what they are fundamentally. But it's kind of ironic. Women are the same, and if you were to honestly ask women, they'll let you know, like, yeah, I'm just like the next bitch. There's nothing unique about me, but their entire lives is striving to find a guy that will tell them that there is something unique about them. So when they find that guy, and then that guy all of a sudden changes his mind and goes, nah, the next bitch is just as good. Hard. It's one, you know, I speak so harshly of women most times, but this is one of those things I truly feel sorry for them about. It's like they're too fearful to try anything new. Their self esteems, on average, are way too low to be able to take the rejection that comes with adventure. And so they're stuck in this loop of doing the same thing the next bitch does, but then that makes them the next bitch. They end up thinking just like the next bitch, talking like the next bitch, wearing the same hairdo, shoes, listening to the same music, just like the next bitch. But they're striving so hard to be unique and to be told that they're unique by someone that they find unique. It's it's sad. It's sad. But yeah, use that fear to their demise though. If they get out of line, use that fear. Your quite simply, if you don't care, they don't leave. If you can convince her that your attitude and demeanor is going to be the same when she's there, just as when she's not going to risk leaving and ultimately being useless. You feel what I'm saying? What's the point of leaving you if she knows that your life is just going to be as awesome when she's gone? She doesn't want to bear the responsibility of realizing that you didn't think she meant anything to you. Right? That's why you see girls do weird shit like, try to nag you about the video game. Why are you always on the video game? Why don't you spend time with me? Well, because the video game is more interesting.